Сейчас будет алан вейк ниже. Вот так, наверное, пойдет.
Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice!
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cabin had disappeared.
Ебать, 3 года спустя, да.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Да. Это пизда, ненавижу улицу. Нахуй вообще на улицу, как я, блядь, селебрити.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Не-не-не, какой голду Элис, нужно проверить. Что-то как нахуй. Сука, не видят открыть окно, понял. Яблоко нет. Понимаю, понимаю. Бля, это же судорожно страшно. Чуть-чуть, вместе чуть страшно, совсем чуть-чуть. Не-не-не, Эрис, подожди, почти.
The continuing freezing rain and heavy snowfall have necessitated a winter storm warning in the entire tri-state area. People are advised to stay indoors as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not expecting snow crews to keep up with the weather. We're now on the 3rd day of the blizzard, and the weather is not expected to clear up anytime soon.
Понятно. На улице заморозка. Таблетки. Ебать, я, конечно, живу, это пиздец. Какой-то нахуй. Раз, два, три, четыре. Раз, два, три. 4 страницы прибыл.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me. This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Не, подожди, 3 года назад или?
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan! Please check the fuse box!
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry!
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Во время даже не поговоришь, потому что не хочется как-то, знаете, вмешиваться.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Че, ничего нельзя взять здесь? Не может быть.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. You know, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. but it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
Все, ну, пока док, я пошел охотиться.
I believe you'll find the sheriff in her office. Just go down the corridor.
Хорошо, спасибо. Не, мы открываем дверь.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
Alice was missing. I needed help to find her. I wasn't ready to leave.
Алло, блядь.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
Погнали отсюда,
Mr.
бабуля.
Wake, the sheriff
Alice
is
was
waiting for
missing.
you in her
I
office down
needed
the
help to
corridor.
find her. I wasn't ready to leave.
That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
Oh shit,
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that.
Вот там смерть нахуй спереди. F5.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Я, наверное, не буду делать, потому что, наверное, собрать это же рандомайз. Короче, соберем все эти штучки.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Ща. Секундочку. Я же знаю, кто такой Стаки. А тот чел, который типа...
The sheriff wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Да. Сейчас буду. Перед этим... Что вырвал? Commission this man secure. Это могут быть эти создатели. Понятно, короче, специально.
You're good to go, Mr. Wake. Sarah's probably waiting for a chance to talk to you.
Да. Sorry.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd locked me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor.
Turn the light. The
lights on! The deputies, they don't understand. Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're alright. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen, you gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then. I told him, oh yeah, well, I don't hear.
Чё, бля, вы же везде нахуй.
We're on your feet.
Ладно, я же, блядь, не демон.
Oh, why'd you do that for? You're with them, aren't you? You were those space aliens. You think you got me right where you want? Will you just wait? You just wait. Stick by what stick what I'm saying.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the Sheriff's Department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deerfest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big day is almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Кого не смешишь, что там? Кого не смущает, что там радио на улице делают?
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
Да. Я буду спешить, мне нужно спасти. Как мне туда попасть?
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business. Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers. A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent...
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Ща надо чекнуть кое-что. Включаем вот это.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very
I'd come here to
nice
rent a
girl
cabin
and,
where I could wait
more
till midnight.
importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you. And she was very helpful when I was looking for you. Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? Are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week. And someone's got Alice.
Do you
and everything's just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong. It's a good story. Could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing... Listen, you hit your head.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha! Let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny. That's just crazy talk, Al. Al! Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Ну, такие ебаные враги, нахуй. Пришел.
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Walk through the door now.
Пизда, блядь. Не дали ствол, а что-то знак, то что не пизда.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest. I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage.
Что-то, блядь, было.
No plan, really. Just taking the action.
Что-то, блядь, было.
Getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about
Что за хуйня?
No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Beck. But I'm gonna check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah, it's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Well, considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
Меня что-то ударило, это пиздец. Бля, мне надо альтапаться, сука, чтобы проверять кое-что. То, что меня ударило, это будет страшно. Не, я свет не выключу, там. Так задумал, что это может быть. Фу. Ёбаный ты урод. Что за хуйня? Знаешь, эта хуйня не случается, когда, блять, возле меня есть человечек какой-то. Ну, для...
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
And it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. But the white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me?
Вот этого человека как у Джона.
I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
А, надо прочитать вот это.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Расти, это что чел, который меня, блядь, этот... ключи дал, это ж он. Ебать.
This was no head injury.
Что происходит?
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me! Anybody? Help me! Help me!
Не, братан, сори. Боже, боже.
The ranger's office was locked. I'd need a key to get in.
Ладно, блядь, Расти, давай нахуй, я иду.
Hello?
Где ты, блядь, ёбаный в рот? Что за хуйня, Расти?
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back. Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened.
Все понял. Манускрипт. Такен.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
А, надо будет седать сюда. Что, нормально, мужик, ты ёпта, лежи нахуй. Я тебя прикрою. Мне нужно кое-что посмотреть, тут можешь это лежать здесь.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Что у нас тут лежит интересненько? Купа. Манускрипт читаю.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe. I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty!
Блядь, Расти, ёбаный в рот, держись.
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
Лежат, сука.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals. Fishing is only permitted for those visitors who purchase a park fishing license. Obey the park ranger's instructions. Never. No closer than 100 yards. Bears and wolves never approach any other wildlife closer than 25 yards. Pets must be never leave your pet unattended. It is against the law. Natural objects are historical artifacts from the park. This includes even rocks. You may.
Давай, держи, пуши. Ладно, я готов. Хотите. И что ты делаешь, блядь? Алло, блядь. Расти, ёбаный в рот. У меня нету патронов, что делать, блядь? Как ты уёбнул, блядь? А ты меня не убьёшь, блядь, мне похуй вообще. Клоун ебаный. Ты меня никогда не ёбнешь. А, на. Не безобидно. Пожалуйста, пожалуйста. Да, блядь. Что делаешь, блядь? Я не могу, блядь. Вижу. Давай, сука. Да не. Ай, блядь. Нахуй. Ай, блядь, сука. Молодец, Калибан. Как ты хочешь на волне, мне еще плохо. Мне ни капли не страшно. Это плохо еще. Пока, да. Вчера было страшнее, но...
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Я туда пришел. Паркур. Щит. Чуть-чуть, совсем чуть-чуть страшно.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Андрюха, нахуй ты сюда идешь, блядь? Не, ну нахуй. Я сюда никогда не вернусь. Тут дышит, блядь. Дышит. О, блядь. Я не боюсь вас. Ладно, отправляйся в ублюдок. Мне не нужно пойти туда. Узнать, что в этой ебучей пещере. Потому что если я туда не пойду, Going on check. Чего открыть? А, не зря сюда пришел. Не зря я пришел сюда. Но когда я вернулся, там дверь была полностью прикрыта, я чутка испугался. Совсем чуть-чуть. Бля, когда я в спину зашел, пизда. Хуя.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
Почему музыка такая страшная? Что-то будет? Тише. Ой, блядь, ой, блядь. Это ж хуйня полнейшая. Сука, на похуй, мне треба векис. Нахуй музыку такую включать? О! Я слышал. Это первая смерть. Пизда была. Зажато. Давайте, суки. А, сюда. Откуда, блядь? А, тут. Ебать. Нахуй, блядь, откуда у тебя так бесконечный штук не может быть? А, не попадешь в меня, блядь, даун. Что? А что ты не сделаешь? Пошел нахуй. Тут фонарь. О, фонаря нету, блядь. Спасают. Вообще похуй. Сука, свет текучий. Сука, меня подставил. Я думал, он неплохо будет. Он сколько упал. О, щит, чуть не упал.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
The taken or filled is darkness. Короче, что там сказал? Нам признать тьма нахуй. Теперь наебашу. Переулки начал. О нет, ну блядь. Ужасен, сколько их там. Нет, это ловушка, это ловушка. Да, блядь. Так даже прикольнее, когда у меня патронов нет. Куда идти, блядь? Я запутался. Пожалуйста. Пошел нахуй, мне похуй. Может там что есть? Нахуй меня это сюда? Что? Что? Что вы тут делаете, блин? Что? Что за хуйня? Ебать. Ёбаный. Какого сука. Ой, блядь. Ща, короче. Что? Какого хуя они появились на мне расплаху? Мне надо забойти все равно. Теперь я знаю, что там какая-то хуйня творится. Я пришелся. Ой, давайте, суки, давайте, блядь. Ладно. Все. Иди да. Ебать, я отпил, нахуй. Соседи. Пизда. Ой, блядь, это даже в тот раз было страшно. Страшно.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost. In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the rider would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power. The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife? Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry. At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice. I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light. An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman. The cabin on Cauldron Lake? She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice. Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling, caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
Shit.
We gotta get moving. More of them coming.
Несмотря тот гандон, который сказал, сетевой.
That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
Спасибо, мужик, ты нас спас.
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! You better keep up. You set him up, and I'll knock him down, Wake. Hear that? It's them.
Алло, блядь, ёбаный ключ. Хедшот надо. Сам. Ебать, давай ебашь.
That's right. Lover's Peak. Right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it. Just a little longer. Scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. Just a little longer. I almost got it. Okay, it's open. Move it or lose it.
Давай, блядь, съебись, на руки стали.
Stop moving. That's what I got for you. Ah! Monster! Stop fighting! Don't like that, boy! Ah! Holy sisters are afraid of the dark. Wake, where'd that one go?
Чё, блядь?
Better get ready. They'll be on us soon. This is it, Wake. The last stand. There's more players here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
Вот это был жестко. Тупо лежать очередная рана. Ой, мужик, сейчас хуйня.
I know. This is a piece of cake, Wake. Fighting me! Like that, boy!
Все же, да, наконец.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her up.
You're gonna give me the manuscript or you'll be sorry!
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
Сейчас, секунду, мужички. Ребятишки. Мурашки по коже, это пизда, конечно. Была. Особенно, когда ты думаешь, что всех едешь нахуй. Сзади, блядь, кого-то нахуй. Хуёво нападает, ты куда мужики? Чаша нашел. Кто туда переходил? Типа я могу отсюда спрыгнуть вниз? Может я что-то пропустил? Что такое, блядь? Вообще не был готов к этому. Что за хуйня? Ебать. Суки. Хуй на то. Теперь ёбнет. Сука, это было жестко. Да, я теперь знаю, что это. Я знаю, что это ловушка, вы уёбки. Что вообще тут может быть интересно? А, на похуй я побежал. Ты же, блядь, ты же не попал, не? Ебать, я подумал, а, ну, после этого поиграем. Да чё так пугать, блин? Нахуй, блядь, мне похуй тут. Подожди, это открывается? Вот, бля, я думал, это тинсу. Чё он такой быстрый? Бля, чё там? Я думал, мне же пизда. Чё? Пососи, хуйца.
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
Хоть и банашка с бензопилой будет. Ну, похуй, я его ёбну. Бля, нужно идти туда нахуй быстрее, тут что-то ж есть. Какого хуя, блядь? Ебать. Где это, блядь? Пизда. Ладно, все, похуй. Не буду возвращаться. Ебать, это было страшно. Сука.
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here, but it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
крота, блядь. Да, пожалуйста, можете не спавниться, блядь, долбоёбы, блядь. Ага, чё? Ладно, братан. Все, блядь. Сейчас появится опять. Куда, блядь? Ай, блядь. Понял. Нужно тратить все, что есть, чтобы выжить. Да, какая-то, блядь. Спасите.
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
Ага. Что такое вообще, блядь?
Beware of widowmakers.
Что ты мне сделаешь, блядь? А, ладно, ладно. Ладно, я подумал, он не сможет.
Shadows stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the Taken. No natural path had brought them here. Я вообще не заметил. Задний. Ладно, ладно. Погибать. Пизда. Сука.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What, am I crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
Я вообще без...
I I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods. I'd have to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus. The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it, but it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
Ничего не будет страшно. О нет.
I had to find the key to the garage.
Почему это не открывается, а? Потому что там кто-то сидит, блядь. Пизда.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
Там кто-то стоит, сейчас мне пизда, сейчас будет скример. Нахуй. Чё? Ебать, он... Шел нахуй. Додик съебан, я сразу понял, что он какой-то хуйня сидит. Ого, что ты? Пошел нахуй. Что ты мне сделаешь, блядь, даун? Что ты мне сделаешь? Что ты мне сделаешь, блядь? Ладно, лучше.
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing.
Ебать, сука. Сайнара, блядь, долбоёбы. Подлезем. Я охуел. Я не знал, что это. Что так звуки башни. Думал, просто.
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need... a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, yes, I get you.
Бля, нужен скрипт. Нет, это что за хуйня?
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
Controls.
Al! Al, I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
Все уже.
Barry, you can open the door now. They're gone.
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper, Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
Bye now.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the Oh Dear
Diner.
Good girl.
Come here. Pretty please, can you tell me where I am? You, won't you say something? I need to get my bearings amongst, and the shadows keep on changing. And I'm haunted by the lives that I have loved and actions I have hated. By the lives that wove the
Previously on Al.
Все, хватит. Хватит Алан Вейка на силу. Да, это было дополнительно. Скажем. Почему у меня... Все, наверное, из-за этого.